We are on the second volume. I got the wrong book. And we are reading about the talks between Krishna and Rukmini. And Krishna has spoke so much, and still he continued. Due to the one-day break, I think I would like to read at least a little bit to go back to remind us where we were, and then we will continue. You may note also that my devotees are not very opulent persons. They also are very poor in worldly goods. Those who are very rich, possessing worldly wealth, are not interested in devotion to me or Krishna consciousness. On the contrary, when a person becomes penniless, whether by force or by circumstances, he may become interested in me if he gets the proper opportunity. Persons who are proud of their riches, even if they are offered association with my devotees, do not take advantage of consciousness of me. These are the Krishna's words. So when we preach, we should remember whom we should try to preach. Haribol. Some discrimination must be there. We want to be what we call compassionate to all human beings, but also at the same time, we don't want to waste the time. In other words, the poorer class of men may have some interest in me, but the richer class of men have no interest. I think, therefore, that your selection of me was not very intelligent. You appear to be very intelligent, trained by your father and brother, but ultimately you have made a great mistake in selecting your life companion. This is Krishna's word. So he continues, but there is no harm. It is better late than never. Haribol. You are at liberty to select a suitable husband who is actually an equal to you in opulence, family traditions, wealth, beauty, education, in all respects. Whatever mistake you may have made may be forgotten. Now you may chalk out your own lucrative path of life. Usually a person does not establish a marital relationship with a person who is either higher or lower than his position. My dear daughter of the king of Vidarbha, I think you did not consider very graciously or sagaciously before your marriage. Thus, you made a wrong selection by choosing me as your husband. You mistakenly heard about my having very exalted character, although factually I was nothing more than a beggar. Without seeing me and my actual position, simply by hearing about me, you selected me as your husband. That was not very brightly done. Therefore, I advise you that it is better late than never that you can now select one of the great Kshatriya princes and accept him as your life companion, and you can reject me. Haribol. So here Krishna was proposing that Rukmini divorce him at a time when Rukmini already had many grown-up children. Therefore, Krishna's whole propositions to Rukmini appear to be something unexpected, because according to the Vedic culture, there was no such thing as separations of husband and wife by divorce. Haribol. Nor was it possible for Rukmini to do so in advanced age when she had many married sons even. Each and every one of Krishna's proposal appeared to Rukmini to be crazy, and she was surprised that Krishna could say such things. Haribol. Simple as she was, her anxiety was increasing more and more at the thought of separation from Krishna. Krishna never leaves her alone. He continued, after all, Krishna speaking, you have to prepare yourself for your next life. I therefore advise that you select someone who can help you both in this life and in the next life. For I am completely unable to help. My dear beautiful princess, you know that all the members of the princely order, including Sisupal, Salva, Jarasandha, Dandavakra, and even your elder brother Rukmi, are all my enemies. They do not like me at all. They hate me from the core of their hearts. All these princes were very much puffed up with their worldly possessions, and they did not care a fig for anyone who came before them. In order to teach them some lessons, I agreed to kidnap you according to your desire. Otherwise, I actually have no love for you, although you love me even before the marriage. Krishna continued, as I have already explained, I'm not very much interested in family life or love between husband and wife. By nature, I'm not very fond of family life, wife, children, home, and opulences. As my devotees are always neglectful of all these worldly possessions, I'm also like that. Actually, I'm interested in self-realization. That gave me pleasure and not this family life. After submitting his statement, Lord Krishna suddenly stopped. The great authority Sukadeva Goswami remarks that Krishna almost always passed his time with Rukmini, and Rukmini was a bit proud to be so fortunate that Krishna never left her even for a moment. Krishna, however, does not like any of his devotee to be proud. As soon as the devotee becomes so, by some tactic, he cuts down the pride. In this case also, Krishna said many things which were hard for Rukmini to even hear. She could only conclude that although she was proud of her position, Krishna could be separated from her at any moment. So Rukmini was conscious that her husband was not an ordinary human being. He was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of the three worlds. By the way, he was speaking. She was afraid of being separated from the Lord, for she had never heard such harsh word from Krishna before. Thus, she became perplexed with fear of separation, and her heart began to palpitate. Without replying to a word of Krishna's statement, she simply cried in great anxiety, as if being drowned in the ocean of grief. She silently scratched the ground with the nails of her toes, which were reflecting reddish light on the ground. The tears from her eyes were pink, mixed with the black cosmic ointment from her eyelids. And the waters were dropping down, washing the kumkum and saffron from her breast. Chalked up on account of great anxiety, unable to speak even a word, she kept her head downward and remained standing just like a stick. Due to this extremely painful fearfulness and lamentation, she lost all her reasoning powers and became so weak that immediately her body lost so much weight that the bangles on her wrist became slackened. The chamra rod with which she was serving Krishna immediately fell from her hand, and her brain and memory became puzzled, and she lost consciousness. The nicely combed hair on her head scattered here and there, and she fell down straight like a banana tree cut down by a whirlwind. What a nice thing to make a film like in our mind to remember this wonderful discussion. Lord Krishna immediately realized that Rukmini had not taken his words in a joking spirit. She had taken them very seriously. And in her extreme anxiety over immediate separation from him, she had fallen into these conditions. So Lord Sri Krishna is naturally very affectionate toward his devotees. And seeing Rukmini's condition, his heart immediately becomes softened. At once, he became merciful to her. The relationship between Krishna and Rukmini was as Lakshmi Narayana. Therefore, he appeared before her in his four-handed manifestation of Narayana. He got down from the bedstead, brought her up by her hands, and placing his cooling hand on her face, smooth and scattered hair on her head, Lord Krishna dried the wet breast of Rukmini with his hand. Understanding the seriousness of Rukmini's love for him, he embraced her to his chest. The Supreme Personality is very expert in putting a thing reasonably for one's understanding, and thus he tried to retract all that he had said before. He is the only resort for all the devotees, and so he knows very well how to satisfy his pure devotees. Krishna understood that Rukmini could not follow the statement which he has made in a joking way. To counteract her confusion, he again began to speak as follows. Haribol. My dear daughter of King Vidarbha, my dear Rukmini, please do not misunderstand me. Don't be unkind to me like this. I know you are sincerely and seriously attached to me. You are my eternal companion. The words which have affected you so much are not factual. I wanted to irritate you a bit, and I was expecting you to make counter answer to those joking words. Unfortunately, you have taken them seriously. I'm very sorry for it. I expected that your red lips would tremble in anger on hearing my statement, and you would chastise me in many words. O perfection of love, I never expected that your condition would be like this. I really expected that you would put your blinking eyes upon me in retaliation, and in that way I would be able to see your beautiful face in that angry mood. Krishna continued. This is a very nice pastimes that we can visualize and remember this conversation at least to some degree. My dear beautiful wife, you know that we are householders. We are always busy in many household affairs. So we long for a time that we can enjoy some joking words between us. That is our ultimate game in household life. Actually, the householders work very hard day and night, but all fatigue of the day's labor becomes minimized as soon as they meet husband and wife together and enjoy life in many ways. Lord Krishna wanted to exhibit himself just as an ordinary householder who delights himself by exchanging joking words with his wife. He therefore repeatedly requested Rukmini not to take those words very seriously. So, in this way, when Lord Krishna pacified Rukmini by his sweet words, she could understand that what was formally spoken by him was not actually meant, but was spoken to evoke some joking pleasure between themselves. She was therefore pacified by hearing the words of Krishna. Gradually, she was freed from all fearfulness of separation from him, and she began to look on his face very cheerfully, with her naturally smiling face. Rukmini said, "My dear lotus-eyed Lord, your statement that we are not a fit combination is completely right. It is not possible for me to come to an equal level with you because you are the reservoir of all qualities, like the unlimited Supreme Personality of Godhead. How can I be a fit match for you? There is no possibility of comparison with you, who are the master of all greatness, controller of the three qualities, and the object of worship for great demigods like Brahma and Lord Shiva." Very good. Rukmini is now making very wonderful thing. As far as I am concerned, I am a production of the three modes of material nature. The three modes of material nature are impediments toward the progressive advancement of devotional service. When and where can I be a fit match for you? My dear husband, you have rightly said also that being afraid of the kings, you have taken shelter in the water of the sea. But who is the king of this material world? I do not think that the so-called royal families are kings of the material world. The kings of the material world are the three modes of material nature. They are actually the controllers of this material world. You are situated in the core of everyone's heart, where you remain completely aloof from the touch of the three modes of material nature. And there is not doubt about it. Rukmini continued, very nice conversation. You say you always maintain enmity with the worldly kings. But who are the worldly kings? I think the worldly kings are the senses. They are most formidable and they control everyone. Certainly, you maintain enmity with these material senses. You are never under the control of the senses, rather, you are the controller of the senses, Rishikesh. My dear Lord, you have said that you are bereft of all royal power, and that is also correct. Not only are you bereft of material world supremacy, but even your servants, those who have some attachment to your lotus feet, also gives up the material world supremacy because they consider the material position to be the darkest region, which checks the progress of spiritual enlightenment. Your servant do not like material supremacy, so what to speak of you? My dear Lord, your statement that you do not act as an ordinary person with a particular aim in life is also perfectly correct. Even your great devotees and servants, known as great sages and saintly persons, remain in such a state that no one can get any clue to the aim of their lives. They are considered by the human society to be crazy and cynical. Their aim of life remains a mystery to the common human being. The lowest of the mankind can know neither in you nor your servant. A contaminated human being cannot imagine the pastimes of you and your devotees. Haribol, we are so contaminated. O unlimited one, when the activities and endeavors of your devotees remain in mystery to the common human being, how can they understand your motive and endeavor? All kind of energies and opulences are engaged in your service, but still they are resting at your shelter. You know, when we see the exchange of the advanced devotees, we can learn from their life how humble they are. Like this Saturday, my car was getting fixed from that storm that we have. So I was there at the repair shop to pick up my car. And suddenly I got the ring. When I saw who is calling was His Holiness Hanuman Prasad Swami Maharaj. And first sentence he said, Shyam Sundar Prabhu, I'm missing your association. So I'm calling you to speak to you. And I was devastated. There who I am. Maharaj is so kind. And then Maharaj spoke for at least 15 minutes or so, describing the activity. And I told Maharaj, don't say those words to me because it's not appropriate. Please keep me at the desk of your lotus feet. But they are so kind. They remember us. They communicate with us. Not even sometime on the phone, but through the heart to heart. I have some experience like that you desire something and you see the reciprocation like this from those personalities. So let's continue reading. It's about 6:51. We can read one more paragraph. Rukmini continued, you have described yourself as penniless. But this condition is not poverty. Since there is nothing in existence but yourself, you do not require to possess anything. You yourself are everything. Unlike others, you do not require to purchase anything extraneously. With you, all contrary things can be adjusted because you are absolute. You do not possess anything, but no one is richer than you. Haribol. In the material world, no one can be rich without possessing. Since your lordship is absolute, you can adjust the contradictions of possessing nothing but at the same time being the richest. In the Vedas, it is stated that although you have no material hands and legs, you accept everything which is offered in devotion by the devotees. You have no material eyes and ears, but still you can see everything everywhere. And you can hear everything everywhere, although do not possess anything. The great demigods who accept prayers and worship from others come and worship you to solicit your mercy. How can you be categorized among the poor? Terrible. So I think the time has come that we should stop. We should be punctual in our practice. And if Krishna so desires, all the devotees that they have to take up their prescribed duties, they are welcome to leave. Before they leave, remember this wonderful exchange between Rukmini and Krishna. Make a movie. So when we close our eyes on the final time of our life, we can dwell on this wonderful exchange. So always remain happy, jubilant, and totally fearless by remembering wonderful pastimes of Radha and Krishna. And whoever you come across, give them a kind word that their life also becomes successful and totally fearless. With this start, I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the desk of these wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who always take austerity to join early in the morning and giving their kind association from Houston, from Fresno, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Aurora, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, Boston, Boise, Atlanta, Phoenix, Tempe, Austin, College Station, San Jose, Portland, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago, Naperville, Philadelphia, Charlotte, Baltimore, Baton Rouge, Alachua, Orlando, Sanford, Jacksonville, San Diego, Loganville, Georgia, Maine. I think from Alaska, Kapil should be presenting his PhD thesis sometime in June, he says. So he will start joining maybe in July. Very well. Toronto, Calcutta, New Delhi, and Pondicherry. So thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhaya patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And if Krishna so desire, we will see you at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, or you can join at your convenient time. I have a nature call I want to attend, so someone should start chanting. I will wait until someone can come forward and start chanting.
I will do that.
So please unmute your phone.
Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,